So they told participants they were giving electric shocks to someone else. And a surprisingly large number of them were willing to inflict pain just because some guy in a lab coat told them to.
It's crazy that people would go that far, but the results were pretty consistent across different versions of the experiment. So what's the link to abstraction?
Sinek says that blindly following orders, detaching yourself from the human consequences
Yeah.
of what you're doing, that's a form of abstraction. We get so focused on the rules, the metrics, doing what we're told, that we lose sight of the bigger picture and how it affects others.
It makes you wonder, how often are we just going through the motions without really considering the human element, especially at work where there's so much pressure to conform and follow procedures.
And that's where technology can be a bit of a double-edged sword. It can connect us in amazing ways, but it can also make this culture of abstraction worse. It's so easy to be rude or dismissive online because you don't see the other person's face or hear their voice. The screen creates this distance and anonymity that makes it easier to dehumanize them.
Yeah, like social media, how we often reduce people to their online profiles and forget about the complexity of their real lives. It's like we're interacting with avatars instead of actual human beings.
And Sinek argues that this can really damage our empathy and our ability to build real connections. We get so used to this digital world of perfect pictures and carefully crafted messages that we forget about the messy and vulnerable parts of real human interaction.
So what's the solution? If abstraction is so widespread in our world, how do we fight it? How do we become more empathetic and connected? Because honestly, after hearing all this, I'm feeling a little discouraged.
Don't worry. The good news is Sinek doesn't just point out the problem, he offers solutions. And it's not about ditching technology and going off the grid. It's about being more aware of how we use technology and how it affects our relationships with others.
Okay, so what are some practical things we can do? I'm ready to give my humanity back.
One of Sinek's main suggestions is to prioritize face-to-face interaction.